Hey folks, it's now time for Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. This is brought to you by the Georgia Cancer Research Center affiliated with Northside Hospital. How are you today, Dr. Whaley?
I'm great. I noticed something. You got your glasses on your head, so you at least found your glasses.
You got to tell everything you know.
I do, but his staff, he has such a dedicated staff. They got him large print on his monitor over here where he can read the questions if he can't find his glasses.
I've been purchasing large print books for a little while.
Yeah, but you had small print the last few times.
Yes,
and then that's why I was reading the questions. I mean,
okay.
I don't mean the big words. I read the questions when there's a big word, but I would read the questions when there were small words.
Okay, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You just can't say that and move past it. I do have difficulty with the big words from time to time. I have major difficulty with the big medical
words. That's what I meant, big medical words, not big regular words. No, you got big medical words.
Because someone in the big medical world decided to move syllables in a different way that only you can pronounce.
It's awful.
Yes.
Oh, I have trouble too. Tomato, you know.
Oh, no, I have no problem.
You got
with
that? All right. Okay.
I got potato.
All right.
All right. How are you?
Yeah, we're going to start first by saying you heard it first here 2 weeks ago, because last week we were on reruns, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The death rates. That was the biggest thing in the news yesterday. U.S. death rate going up again for another year because of the drug overdoses, the suicides, and the Chicago gun-free zone. Anyway, I just want to say you heard it here first, like Zika several years ago. So
I agree. This is a great opportunity in the morning every Friday, and I do want to say that, not gloss over it. Dr. Whaley always brings us some up-to-the-minute information that's happening out there that is not actually in the mainstream at the time when we discuss it right here. We ready for our first question?
Jump into it. We got a lot to do
this is one that you want to spend a lot of time on, because this is a deep question. Our first question, again, thank you, Georgia Cancer Research Center affiliated with Northside Hospital. I was recently diagnosed with kidney cancer. I was told it is important to keep trying to build muscle as long as I feel well. Is this actually beneficial? What are safe ways to do this without overdoing it?
All right. We're going to get started on this question, but you don't really hear a whole lot of questions about kidney cancer, do you? You got that first graph up there for me? I'm going to show you this, BKP.
You don't hear a lot.
Yeah, right. People talking about breast cancer, like colon cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer. If you can see on your screen, 96 inches, 80. If you can see on your 86-inch screen at home, this graph of kidney cancer rates, you don't really need to read the bottom of it, but this is about a 20-year period showing the amount of kidney cancer in both men and women and the increase over the last decade. In women, it's gone up by 42% in 10 years. Men, 38% in 10 years. Now, you'd stop and think to yourself, what in the world? I mean, that's a big number, right?
Yes, that's what
I mean, that's not like one of these elections that's won by 1% or less.
And in men, it's the 5th most common cancer.
Yeah, it's a big deal. All right, so anyway, that's a big deal. Show the second one here. From listening to the question, I'm going to make the assumption this patient is not on immunotherapy. They don't say anything about being in a big research protocol somewhere. So now you're going to look, and I have a guy I saw yesterday, a very interesting patient. But if you look at this, graph of kidneys here, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. The patient that I saw, I think I said this about pancreatic cancer a few weeks ago. The guy who gets cured of pancreatic cancer or gets cured of lung cancer is the guy who goes in and they're looking for a gallstone or a kidney stone with an ultrasound, and they find a small pancreatic cancer long before it causes any symptoms, right? And then they go get it. So this stage 1 kidney cancer generally causes no symptoms. You don't have blood in the urine, and it's often found, sometimes you have blood in the urine, but it's often found when somebody's looking for something else. Well, this particular one I saw yesterday was a guy who slipped and fell and hurt his back in the Driven in firewood a couple of weeks ago, and the orthopedist took an X-ray. Took an MRI of his back and saw a stage 1 kidney cancer. So that stage 1 kidney cancer will be treated by surgery. He'll need to have no chemotherapy, no radiation, no immunotherapy, no anything else. So I want to direct this question toward early stage kidney cancer, where your whole life is not wrapped up in getting immunotherapy. So the question then asks about, is exercise important? Well, I'm going to answer the question by saying yes, exercise is important, but I want to answer first, why are we seeing more kidney cancer than we used to see? So go to that next one there that shows that guy with the foreign body in his face. You got that one? That's pretty easy to see, right? So if you look at that one, it ain't hard to say, smoking's a cause of kidney cancer. Well, when you think about smoking, you're thinking about lung cancer,
right?
Head and neck cancer. All right, we're going to put that one aside. Of course, you could put that up there and say smoking's a cause of toenail cancer. Be sort of right. Now, pick up the next one. Now, this one shows smoking increases your risk of kidney cancer by, read that percentage.
50%. 50%.
50%. Now that's a huge number, isn't it?
Wow. Yes, that is.
All right. So now you can take off all of the graphs for a minute. Kidney cancer and bladder cancer, back when I was in school and training, which was back when they had horses and buggies, if you'll remember.
Little lanterns on there.
Yeah, lanterns on a buggy, and the doctor made house calls. That's how long ago that was. There was epidemics of bladder cancer around places like Dayton, Ohio, northern Alabama, and what was common in those places were Dayton, Ohio, they made tires, didn't they?
Yes.
Automobile tires.
Okay.
So rubber plants where guys were making tires, and what did they make in northern Alabama? They made the inner tubes.
Yes, okay.
All right, so just using that one industry, making tires and inner tubes, there were chemicals that were in the product, in the production of those things, that a man who went to work there when he was 19 and worked till he was 65, you know, he didn't have retirement or anything,
right.
Worked 40, 50 years in a rubber plant, had a high incidence of bladder cancer because of these chemicals that were in the production of rubber. So when people complain about the government regulating DDT and regulating Roundup and regulating stuff, there's some logic to that. But that concept that what you are inhaling, what you might be getting on your tongue and in your mucous membrane from working in a rubber plant, how's that get to your bladder, your kidney? It becomes absorbed. Now, urine comes out through the bladder and the kidney, right? So that tobacco right there has to get to the kidney through the blood. I'm going to switch gears for a minute. I mean, I know you like me to switch gears. Colon cancer is linked to low fiber diets, because if you eat, let's say that I don't know where the conspiracy theory woman is yet, but she'll be here in a little while, who believes that when you buy an apple at the supermarket that's got wax on it and chemicals on it to preserve it, and you eat it, that it's not near as healthy as one you pick off the tree over here at Mercier's. Well, the truth of it is, it's not. Now, it might be now because they've changed the waxes, but it used to be that what you put on a lot of these foods, you eat it, goes into your colon. If you have a bowel action every 24 hours, then that poison sits up against your colon wall like that for 24 hours. If you eat a high fiber diet like we're supposed to eat, natives in Africa, and you have 3, 4, or 5 bowel actions per day, that poison sits up against the edge of your colon for 4 to 6 hours. Simple, right? So it's not there very long. So now we are back to the kidney cancer. These things that we have that we can't get away from. Now, you can obviously get away from tobacco, but you can't get away from everything else that's out there that would be detrimental to the kidney and could cause kidney cancer. So now you're going to put up that next one, all right? The question asked, this one illustration here has a title that I did not put on it, but how can I prevent kidney cancer? And that shows them eating vegetables, and I don't think it's Brussels sprouts. I can't tell what that thing is, but it's a leafy green vegetable, right? And over here is exercise. But we have already said before that exercise diminishes the incidence of breast cancer, colon cancer, bladder and kidney cancer. Now, if it does that because it's increasing your excretion of poisons or whatever else it does, or increases your immunity, I'm not going to try and settle that today. It's too big a question. But the question was, does trying to build muscle as long as I feel well help in kidney cancer? And that answer is absolutely yes, but it's all kinds of cancers. And the second question is, how can I do that safely without overdoing it? And that is, if you're actually being treated in a cancer institute somewhere, and pretty hard not to be today, then there should be a case manager or a person that's working with you as you go through your recovery that talks about the rehabilitation, walking exercise program, diet, and all that sort of stuff. And as I've said before, if you want me to just give you a formula over the telephone or on the TV without knowing the specifics, if your wound's healed, if you're up and walk 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and every 2 weeks increase that by 5 minutes a day until you're walking an hour a day. And then when we get to the news of the day, I'll add another one. So that the answer to the question is yes. The question about kidney cancer is really worth asking because it's an increasing incidence, and there are things you can do to diminish your chances of getting kidney cancer. And number one, stay away from tobacco. Number two is to eat that healthy diet we've had before. And number three is exercise.
Well, in that, I will add, I like Brussels sprouts. Yeah. I will do that publicly. I mean, I tell you, a lot of people, they just, you know, and as a kid, they turn their nose. I like my Brussels sprouts. Okay. Again, we want to thank the Georgia Cancer Research Center affiliated with Northside Hospital for this segment, our second question of the day. I've been waiting for you on this one, Dr. Whaley, because I read the questions and I try to picture or hear your approach on them. Okay, so I've been waiting. This is one of those. I'm waiting to see your direction on this one. Is it true that meditation can have actual health benefits?
I always like to be one-word answers. The answer is yes. So, you want to go to the next question, or shall I now enlarge on that? Enlarge on that, please, Doctor. What's meditation?
I'm not.
There you go.
I'm not for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I relax.
Okay. Put your glasses on.
All right.
All right. Put that thing up there. Now you're gonna have some trouble with these. Give me some of these words here.
What is that?
Yeah. What is that?
I don't know.
What is that? All right. I'm just going to give you one real quick, and then we'll get into this. The following are our 7 favorite types of meditation. Maharishi, an advocate of transcendental meditation, defines the purpose is a state of enlightenment. All right, so when people talk about transcendental meditation, the guy that invented that particular name was a Maharishi in India. All right. Number 2, heart rhythm meditation. Now, what in the world is that? That is biofeedback. You've heard me talk before about things to lower your anxiety, lower your blood pressure, how, if you really learn biofeedback, you could defeat the lie detector because you could control your skin resistance, your heart rate, your blood pressure. So learning how to defeat a lie detector is a form of medication. Now, some of these other ones here, like Kundalini, Quixong, Zazim, these are, how about that? That's pretty good, wasn't it? Those are some of these oriental things like Tai Chi, which you see. There is no doubt that people who practice Tai Chi in the Orient, and you see these old people in the parks. I don't know if you've ever been to China or Japan or any of those countries. But in the morning, as dawn comes up, you look out in these parks and you'll see hundreds of old people, like in the movies, doing it. All right, that's it. You got it. That's it. All right. If you it's not just random. They're doing specific things that first, from a physical perspective, increase their pliability, their balance, their core strength. But the other part of it's all mental. Back in the early days of cancer support groups, before treatment was as effective as it is today, you used to hear about people saying that you must visualize your body's immunity fighting the cancer cells. They don't give you that anymore because we know there's another way of doing it. But when I was in training, there were actual cancer support groups in hospitals where people went and sat around, sort of like Alcoholics Anonymous or Weight Watchers, and had support groups, and they were to sit there and visualize their body fighting off the tumor. That's another way of having meditation. I think the most effective meditation that we have in our geography here is Bible study, church support groups. We've gone through recently here with one of our large churches, one of their pastors who had cancer who died. And the whole congregation came together and had prayer and support for that patient and his family. So at the end of the day, the use of that label, meditation, opens up if you'll remember the movie Karate Kid, karate and those martial arts things that are predicated on greater and greater degrees of control of your body and mindfulness are forms of meditation. So the answer to that question is, I believe that each of these cultures, the Oriental culture with the Asian culture with the Tai Chi and those we can't speak over here, the Indian subcontinent, yoga begins in the Indian subcontinent in India and those countries. Each of those different forms of meditation seem to all have some physical characteristics to it, and both the physical characteristic part that helps you with balance and balance and strength, and the mental part of it is very beneficial, not only for cancer therapy, for blood pressure for control, or for getting along with your kids.
Okay.
So the answer was yes.
Well,
you want to try and get those words again here?
No.
Kundalini and Quizon.
Meditation for me is just relaxing and laying back, closing my eyes, and wondering what I'm going to do on the show tomorrow. That's how.
No, that part you shouldn't do.
I shouldn't?
No, you should sit
back. How do I stop that?
You should sit.
How do you stop that?
That's a really good question. As you age, I noticed that one of the participants in the expert panel, who's not near as old as I, but still has a senior citizen, came in. And
I'm going through the expert panel.
And has excellent mental health. I've got no questions whatsoever about his mental health. I'll speak about myself. But I wake up many times at night for the reason that men of my age wake up at night, right? And then you come back to bed and you got to go back to sleep. Well, I do beautifully. Next Wednesday night, I've got to leave the office and fly down to Miami for be an expert witness in an aviation lawsuit on Thursday. And I began about 3 nights ago, when I was trying to go back to sleep, plowing over in my mind when I try to go back to bed all of these facts and stuff. And that's not healthy. And so you got to program 5 days a week. You don't have to do this, twice a year. So you've got to find something else to focus on. Why don't you worry about who's going to win the Georgia-Alabama game? Or
no, I'm serious. When you talk about meditation, I don't know how to, like, right now, I'm processing my meeting after the show, where I'm going.
You mean you're ignoring me?
No, I'm not ignoring you.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. No, I wasn't ignoring you. All right, no, I was not you. Wow, you just sorry. No, would you understand?
All right, when you get the conspiracy theorist in here, she'll help you figure out about how to focus on.
I just have to figure
Bible things.
I just have to figure out who that is. Okay.
All right.
Anyhow. What do you have for us? This is that time of the show?
Yeah. We got all sorts of stuff. I started out with the death rates thing, and I'm going to comment on what you were talking about building the hotel in Paris, building a hotel in Moscow. What really, and everybody says, but look at Clinton's server. I said, look, Clinton hadn't got a horse in this race.
Okay.
Period. What this businessman was doing in Russia, probably without a whole bunch of input himself, I mean, his people were probably doing it. Not only was it 100% legal, nobody thought he was going to win the election at 10 o'clock at night on the day of the darn election. So it would have been a stupid thing to have blown up his business. But what bothers me is that the people that were working for him were not totally forthcoming, either intentionally or not intentionally, when they had the opportunity. If they had very first said, did you talk to anybody about building a hotel in Russia? I said, yeah, I talked to them, and I went over there and I looked at the thing and I did this and but when they forget 6 months, I mean, that's legal. I forget everything, but it looks like they're trying to obfuscate and that there's something to hide. Well, I don't believe there's a darn thing to hide. I think what they're doing is totally legit. But when everybody in the news, except for one little tiny piece, that's you and Sean Hannity and a couple other guys, are saying, bright guys getting ready to go talk to Congress should have looked at their records or checked it, whatever. I'm disappointed in the people that were working for him, not disappointed in him. That's got nothing to do with the news. Now, you ready for the news?
Yes.
All right. Well, flu season started.
Yes.
Flu epidemic began before our last visit. If there's anybody out there that's over the age of 6 months, that hasn't had a flu shot, go get it.
Why every Friday do I feel like I just got to the doctor's office and the doctor's going to ask me a bunch of questions? For some reason on Friday I feel like we're all going to get a bunch of questions, right?
Right. There are no systemic side effects. Last time I got a flu shot, I caught the flu. 18 years ago, the guy had a flu shot and got a common cold a few days later. We've gone over that many times. And less than 1% get a sore arm for less than 1 day. And 86,000 people died of the flu last year, and it should have been only 30, and you need to go get the flu shot. Second item is, can I eat romaine lettuce? Now, I know that you don't have a Costco up here, but you got a Walmart, and you got an Ingles, and you can't go in there now and buy a prepackaged Caesar salad because they all came off the shelves because they've got romaine in it. The last time we had this, they isolated where it came from. It came from Arizona. This time they've isolated it comes from California. So there are places where there is romaine lettuce that's safe to eat, but we're not confident enough about the labeling in prepackaged romaine packages to let you go back and eat it yet. But if they put it back on the shelf in your store where you are, then that has been tracked to the point they know it probably came from somewhere way away from California. So,
well, as you could tell, I'm normally nervous around the lettuce section of the grocery store, but I was extremely extra nervous this week when I got around the leafy greens. But seriously, I went to the grocery store the other day and I was thinking about, well, I'd like to get just a regular head of lettuce, and I was just looking. I was like, how do we know anymore?
Yeah, but how are men supposed to know what romaine lettuce is in the first place? You know what I mean? Lettuce comes in a round ball.
Which one you call a romaine?
Yeah, right. Okay, I got another one for you, because you always, I know you think that I am a
waiting for this?
I'm a broken record is repeating the same thing since I talk about exercise with every disease. I just want you to read that headline right there. This came out yesterday. Read it out loud, really loud.
Just a little weightlifting could help your heart. Okay, let me have a cup of drink coffee here.
All right. There you go.
Just a little. Just a little weight.
All right, so we began with first question was this kidney cancer question, right?
Right.
We want to know whether exercise was
exactly
important. Okay, 2 weeks ago we had a breast cancer question and wanted to know what sort of physical activity they could do with the breast cancer. Now, I've already gone back and said when we're talking about the kidney cancer that exercise helps diminish all forms of cancer, period. We talk forever in here about blood pressure, heart disease, and there you go. Now they're going to make you lift a few weights. Well, it's not really the weightlifting. Well, I guess it is. The weightlifting increases your percentage of body muscle compared to fat. So that lowers your percentage body fat. And the extra work of the lifting of the weights makes your heart work a little bit harder, which makes it more healthy either before you develop heart disease or as part of your cardiac rehab program. So you got a guy over here trying to prevent heart disease who's supposed to be walking an hour a day, 5 days a week, right? Somebody, two of you back there. Hour a day, 5 days a week, should be doing that. You need to throw in now about 30 minutes of light machine work somewhere to get a little,
Pay attention, Cub fan. Don't look out the window like you don't know.
He got his back turned. I noticed he had his back turned. So anyway, that's just another. It was out yesterday. You'll hear. I don't know if you'll hear anybody on TV talking about that.
You just gave me. I'm telling you. I just had a marketing idea. We'll start going. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a camera, and we're going to go to the gym. And we're going to do like the political all-star panel at the gym, hit 5. What do you think about Putin over there in Russia? Yeah, what about you? Yeah, let's do a all-star political panel at the gym.
From the
gym.
You got a nice gym up there.
Walk around.
The one up there next to the Home Depot is big. You could.
No, I'm talking about a second show. I'm talking about expanding. I'm like Trump. I'm looking at building in Russia and Moscow. I'm looking at
FetcherNews.com in Moscow.
Dr. Whaley, I always appreciate it. Thank you very much. We want to thank the Georgia Cancer Research Center affiliated with Northside Hospital.
Yeah, and have you had your flu shot?
What was the question? I forgot the question already. No.
You can walk across the street and get a flu shot free.
Okay. Gosh,
are you allergic to eggs? You're not allergic to donuts?
No. What? No, I'm not allergic. Okay. All right. I will go get a flu shot, and I will take one of the all-star panel with me.
All right, good.
You think I could get them to go?
If you can, that'll be good.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Whaley. Again, Georgia Cancer Research Center affiliated with Northside Hospital. We appreciate them for this segment. And you can always get this segment and watch it later on our YouTube channel. That is FYN TV, Fetch Your News YouTube channel under Ask the Doc. Go to the playlist or go to fyntv.com and you can get it on demand. If you have a question for the doctor, you just send it to info, I-N-F-O, at fetchernews.com. Put in the subject line, Ask the Doc, and we'll get it to Dr. Whaley for Friday. We're going to be right back. We're happy to see Bruce has finished backpacking through Europe, and he'll be with us here. So find out
Cub
about
fan?
Yeah, the Cub fan is here. Cornell is here. Backpacking through Europe. He just got out of college. He didn't know what to do with his life. Threw a backpack on. He's been in Europe, but we'll ask him how it is over across the pond. We'll be back with the All-Star Political Panel right after this.